Hello, my name is Cash, and welcome back to By Faith Bible Studies. I have thankfully been taken on by Jason, who is a great man and has really poured out his spiritual knowledge into me, and I'm really thankful for him, and he gave me the opportunity to speak on this podcast today. So today I'm going to be speaking from Ecclesiastes 9 1 through 12. But all this I laid to heart, examining it all, how the righteous and the wise and their deeds are in the hand of God. Whether it is love or hate, man does not know. Both are before him. It is the same for all, since the same event happens to the righteous and the wicked, to the good and the evil, to the clean and the unclean, to him who sacrifices and him who does not sacrifice. As the good one is, so is the sinner, and he who swears is as he who shuns an oath. This is an evil in all that is done under the sun, that the same event happens to all. Also, the hearts of the children of man are full of evil, and madness is in their hearts, while they live, and after that they go to the dead. But he who is joined with all the living has hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing, and they have no more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Their love and their hate and their envy have already perished, and forever they have no more share in all that is done under the sun. Go eat your bread with joy, and drink your wine with a merry heart, for God has already approved what you do. Let your garments always be white. Let not oil be lacking on your head. Enjoy life with the wife whom you love, all the days of your vain life, that he has given you under the sun, because that is your portion in life and in your toil, at which you toil under the sun. Whatever your hands finds to do, do it with all your might, for there is no work or thought or knowledge or wisdom in Sheol, to which you are going. Again I say that under the sun is the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to the intelligent, nor favor to those with knowledge. But time and change happen to all, for man does not know his time, like fish that are taken in an evil net, and like birds that are suddenly caught up in a snare. So the children of man are snared at an evil time, when it suddenly falls upon them. Dear Heavenly Father, I pray that you would bless this time, that you would reach people if they're actually watching this. And I pray that you would give me strength and have your word be delivered clearly, Lord. So, first of all, I would like to start with, the first verse. Ecclesiastes 9, 1. But all this I laid to heart, examining it all, how the righteous and the wise and their deeds are in the hand of God. Whether it is love or hate, man does not know. Both are before him. First of all, I think the first point of this verse is in the first few words. How the righteous and the wise and their deeds are in the hand of God. Everything is in the hands of God. And that's what Solomon, or as he's referred to in Ecclesiastes, the preacher, is making known. It's that God is sovereign over all, including your life, whether you are righteous or wise. Their deeds are both in the hands of God. And whether it is love or hate, man does not know. Both are before him. Now, I believe that this is a reference to Genesis when God says, Jacob I loved, Esau I hated. Paul also quotes this in Romans when he is discussing sovereignty and predestination. God is in control. Whether he loves or he hates, whether he disciplines or he prospers, he is in control. But man does not know. We do not know the will of God. We know his revealed will, but we do not know the full will of God. And that, I believe, is what the preacher in Ecclesiastes is trying to get to. And it is the same for all. The same event happens to the righteous and the wicked, to the good and the evil. Well, right here we see it the same event. What is this event? Well, we can turn to Job 9:22. In Job 9:22, Job is discussing his sorrow, and he calls out to God, and he's talking about God and God's will and what God does. And Job says, the destruction of all. That is the same event. God destroys all. God destroys the righteous and the wicked. And the preacher also wants us to make known a very clear theme in Ecclesiastes, and that is death comes to everybody. Doesn't matter whether you are righteous and wicked, the same event, death, destruction, it comes to you. And you will face judgment. That's what it's saying. And to the good and the evil. It doesn't matter whether you're a good person, an evil person, whether your deeds are considered by the world righteous or wicked. You still face death. You still face judgment. To the clean and the unclean. To him who sacrifices and him who does not sacrifice. As the good one is, so is the sinner. And he who swears is as he who shuns an oath. Again, him who sacrifices himself, who does a Nazirite vow or consecrates himself to the temple, just as him who does not. The Jew and the Gentile both face death. And that's a theme that really is through all of Ecclesiastes, but especially here, is just this emphasis on death and it coming to everybody. The clean and the unclean. The Jewish law particularly favored and gave many, many laws and rituals about cleanliness. And this is not cleanliness in a sanitary sense, but a cleanliness in a holy sense. And people who were unclean were unholy, and they needed to be brought back into holiness by many rituals. And the clean were, well, the holy or the morally righteous by the law. Now, as it is for the clean and the unclean, they both face death. It doesn't matter. Death comes to all. Judgment comes to all. This is an evil that is done under the sun, that the same event happens to all. Also the children of the hearts of man. The hearts of the children of man are full of evil, and madness is in their hearts, while they live, and after that, they go to the dead. Now here we see that really, every man is evil. Every man has evil in his heart. In Romans, Paul quotes Isaiah, and Isaiah says that there is none righteous, there is none who seeks God, there is none who does the will of God, there is none who does good. Right here, we see that, well, Solomon, the preacher, also testifies to this. The hearts of all the children of man are evil. And they're not just evil, they're full of evil. There's nothing but evil in them. And madness is in their hearts. When you look at the world, when we look at the world today, we can see that it is madness. And what is this madness? It comes from the evil of the hearts of children of man. That is while they live, and after that they go to the dead. Their evil is removed in judgment. But he who is joined with all the living has hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. We do have hope in life, and that hope is through, well, Jesus Christ. Now, Solomon could be talking about the hope of salvation that we have through Jesus Christ, who was had not come at this time, but was being looked forward to. And he can also be talking about the fact that we have a hope for tomorrow, that life could turn out better. But as Solomon later tells us, we don't know when we're going to die. Time is not ours. We do not control it. We do not know when we're going to die. And James says, how shall we say then that we shall go here or do this when we do not know the time of our death? For the living know that they will die. The dead know nothing, and they have no more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Now the living, they know that they will die. Everyone knows from the second that they are born that they will eventually face death. It's something that's implanted in us. The dead, well, they're already dead. There is nothing for them left to do here on earth. And he continues this, and he says their love and their hate and their envy have already perished. Once you are dead, everything that you were contributing is dead. Your heart is dead. The love, the hate, the sin, the righteousness that you contributed or that you produced is dead. It's perished. And forever they have no more share in all that is done under the sun. They are removed from the earth. We no longer have a share or a stock in this world. We are either with our Lord in heaven at home or at our home in hell with the devil. Now, he makes a transition here from doom and gloom to a little bit more positive about what we can do with this reality that we are all going to die. Go eat your bread with joy and drink your wine with a merry heart, for God has already approved what you do. Solomon, the preacher, tells us to live life and enjoy it. That life is a gift from God. He wouldn't have created us if it wasn't. He created Adam and Eve to have fellowship with him. And he gave them the gift of life, but they chose to rebel. Now we still have that. And we have to go and eat our bread with joy and drink our wine with a merry heart, for God approves what you do. Now, what does this mean? This means that we live in joy and merry, knowing that we will die, but enjoying what God has given us, enjoying the blessings that God has given us. We also live with what God has approved. We stay within the law of God. We do not wander. We do not go eat your bread with joy, drink your wine with a merry heart, and get drunk. We do not go eat your bread with joy and get obese. We live within the law of God. We do not go eat your bread with joy, drink your wine with a merry heart, and go commit adultery against our wives. No. We do what God has already approved you to do. And let your garments be always white. Let not oil be lacking on your head. Now, your garments being white and your oil lacking on your head was considered a tradition of festivals. So let your garments always be white and let your oil not be lacking on your head means we are to have festivity. We are to enjoy life again. He keeps repeating this idea of enjoying life because life is a gift from God and we're here to serve him on earth. And we can enjoy that servitude and enjoy life with the wife whom you love all your days of your vain life that he has given you under the sun, because that is your portion in life. The Lord has blessed us with the gift of marriage. Right? We see in Paul's letters that marriage is representation of Christ and the church. It's a representation of what's going on in heaven. But it's also, we also can look back at Genesis 2 and 3, and we see that marriage is not just a representation. That's what its goal is. But it's also companionship and fellowship. Adam did not have a suitable helper. He did not have someone that was like him, not have someone that loved him. And then God made a woman. Adam had someone that was like him, that loved him, that complimented him, that completed him, and that he could spend his life with. That's what marriage is. And we see that in Genesis 1 and 2, and we also see that in Paul's letters. And here we see that the preacher, Solomon, also testifies this, that life, to enjoy life with the wife whom you love, all the days of your vain life. And he also adds that vain there to tell you that yes, your life is in vain because everyone dies. A reminder that even though life is sometimes wonderful, life is in vain, and that we have to live knowing that we will die and that we will face God. That he has given you under the sun, because that is your portion in life, and in your toil at which you toil under the sun. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might, for there is no work or thought or knowledge or wisdom in Sheol to which you are going. Now, I also see here that work is considered a necessary part of life. God calls us not to be lazy. He calls us to serve him. He calls us to glorify himself in everything we do. And we see that the preacher also recognizes this, that whatever your hands find to do it with your might. Work hard. Do not be lazy. Work knowing that you will die. And that there is no work or thought or wisdom or knowledge in death to which you are going. He doesn't just say we, he specifically points out you. You are going to death. I am going to death. Everyone is going to death. But we still have work. And it's something that we have to do with all our might. And as Paul or Peter, I don't remember who writes it, but in the epistles, we are told to do everything for the glory of Christ. And that's what I believe that it possibly is referring to, is that we're doing everything for God. Even though we know that our work is in vain, we still have to do it. Again, I saw that under the sun, the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to the intelligent, nor favor to those with knowledge. But time and chance happen to them all, for man does not know his time. Like fish that are taken in an evil net, and like birds that are caught in a snare, so the children of man are snared at an evil time, when it suddenly falls upon him. Death comes to everyone. Does not matter who you are, where you are, how young you are, how healthy you are. Death comes, and it will get you. As it says, time and chance happen to them all. Man does not know his time. Again, James says this, and he repeats this idea. Why should we say, I will go here, you will go there, we will do this, we will do that? We do not know our time. We do not know what the Lord has planned. We will not know when the Lord calls us home. Death is around the corner. And we are living in a world where you can die any second. So be prepared. Be prepared to meet God. Because you might not have another chance. But we also see here that again that I saw that under the sun, the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to the intelligent, nor favor to those with knowledge. You cannot do anything to prolong your life, to win the race, to fight the battle when we all do not know our time. We will come to an end. Everyone will come to an end. But we can rest in this fact, and that fact is that Jesus Christ is the perfect and absolute mediator of the saints. And he died for our atonement. And if we have faith and we put our trust in him, he will save us. And he is the perfect substitute. There is no doubt, no fear, no worry within him. He will hold us. And so when we live with that, we get to know that there is no reason to prolong our lives or spend seconds worrying about our lives, trying to win the battle, trying to be swift and win the race, when we know that we will be caught up and taken home. Or if you do not know Jesus Christ, you could be caught up and not taken home, taken to the place of eternal judgment for your sins.